Way back in 1887 to 1889, a global cultural icon was built in France, and this is commonly known as, or it is commonly referred to as, the French Iron Lady, or the Paris Tower, or the Eiffel Tower, whatever you can call it. Welcome about to the AJ Scholars YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm gonna take you guys through a brief history about the Eiffel Tower. All you need to know about the Eiffel Tower, that is commonly known as the Paris Tower, or it's commonly known as the French Iron Lady, whatever you can call it. I don't know which name you call it, but hope you guys know what I'm talking about. So in today's video, I'm going to talk about a brief history about that global icon found in France. So if you're new here, please be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you for being loyal to AJ Scholars. It's your boy AJ Scholars here once again with another video. Hope you enjoy this video. Please be sure to subscribe to this channel, like the video, comment the video, and share the video to your friends so that they don't miss out this information about the great Eiffel Tower. And we're gonna know a brief history about this tower. So please, let's fly together to France. Let's get straight into the video. Thank you. Locally named French for Iron Lady, it was constructed from 1887 to 1889 as the entrance to the 1889 World's Fair, and was initially criticized by some of France's leading artists and intellectuals for its design. But it has become a global cultural icon of France and one of the most recognizable structures in the world. The Eiffel Tower is the most visited paid monument in the world, and it attracted almost 6.91 million people in 2015. The tower is 324 meters tall, about the same height as an 81-story building and the tallest structure in Paris. Its base is square, measuring 125 meters on each side. During its construction, the monument was to become the tallest man-made structure in the world, a title it held for 41 years until the Chrysler Building in New York City was finished in 1930. It was the first structure in the world to surpass both the 200-meter and 300-meter mark in height. Due to the addition of the broadcasting area at the top of the tower in 1859, it is now taller than the Chrysler Building by 5.2 meters. Excluding transmitters, the Eiffel Tower is the second tallest freestanding structure in France after the Millau Viaduct. The tower has 3 levels for visitors, with restaurants on the first and second levels. The first level's upper platform is 276 meters above the ground, the highest observation deck accessible to the public in the European Union. Tickets can be purchased to ascend by stairs or lift to the first and second level is over 300 steps, as is the climb from the first level to the second. Although there is a staircase to the top level, it is usually accessible only by lift. The design of the Eiffel Tower is attributed to Maurice Coquelin and Emile, 2 senior engineers working for the company of establishments Eiffel. It was envisioned after discussion about a suitable centerpiece for the proposed 1889 Exposition Universal, a World's Fair to celebrate the centennial of the French Revolution. Eiffel openly acknowledged the inspiration for a tower came from the Latin Observatory built in New York City in 1884. Working at home, Coquelin made a sketch of their idea, described by him as a great pylon, consisting of 4 lattice girders standing apart at the base and coming together at the top, joined together by the metal trusses at regular intervals. Eiffel initially showed little enthusiasm, but he did approve further study. And the 2 engineers then asked Stéphane Sauvestri, the head of the company's architectural department, to contribute to the design. Stéphane added decorative arches to the base of the tower, a glass pavilion to the first level, and the other embellishments. The new version gained Eiffel's support. He bought the rights to the patent of the design which Coquelin, Emile, and Sauvestri had taken out, and the design was exhibited at the exhibition of the decorative arts in the autumn of 1884 under the company name. On 30th March 1885, Eiffel presented his plans to the Society of Civil Engineers after discussing the technical problem and emphasizing the practical uses of the tower. He finished his talk by saying the tower would symbolize not only the art of the modern engineer, but also the century of industry and science in which we are living, and for which the way was prepared by the great scientific movement of the 18th century and by the revolution of 1789, to which this monument will be built as an expression of France's gratitude. Little progress was made until 1886, when Jules Grevy was re-elected as the president of France and Edward Lockery was appointed as the Minister for Trade. A budget for the exposition was passed on 1st May. Lockery announced an alteration to the terms of the open competition being held for a centerpiece to the exposition, which effectively made the selection of Eiffel's design a foregone conclusion, as entries had to include a study for a 300-meter four-sided metal tower on the Champ de Mars. On 12th May, a commission was set up to examine Eiffel's scheme and its rivals, which a month later decided that all the propositions except Eiffel's were either impractical or lacking in details. After some debate about the exact location of the tower, a contract was signed on 8th January 1887. This was signed by Eiffel acting in his own capacity rather than as the representative of his company, and granted him 1.5 million francs towards the construction costs. Less than a quarter of the estimated 6.5 million francs. Eiffel was to receive all income from the commercial exploitation of the tower during the exhibition and for the next 20 years. He later established a separate company to manage the tower, putting up half the necessary capital himself. The proposed tower had been a subject of controversy, drawing criticism from those who did not believe it was feasible and those who objected on artistic grounds. Prior to the Eiffel Tower's construction, no structure had ever been constructed to a height of 300 meters or even 200 meters for a matter, and many people believed it was impossible. These objections were an expression for a long-standing debate in France about the relationship between the architecture and engineering. It came to a head as work began to the Champ de Mars. A committee of 300 was formed, led by the prominent architect Charles Garnier, and including some of the most important figures of the arts, such as William and many others. A petition called Artists Against the Eiffel Tower was sent to the Minister of Works and Commissioner for the Exposition Adolphe Alphand, and it was published by Le Temps on February 1887. Gustave Eiffel responded to these criticisms by comparing his tower to the Egyptian pyramids. "My tower will be the tallest monument ever erected by man." These criticisms were also dealt by Lockery in a letter of support written to Alphand, saying, "Judging by the stately swell of the rhythms, the beauty of the metaphors, the elegancy of its delicate and precise style, one can tell the protests in the result of collaboration of the most famous writers and poets of our time," and he explained that the protest was irrelevant since the project had been decided upon months before and the construction of the tower was already underway. Indeed, Garnier was a member of the Tower Commission that had examined the various proposals and had raised no objection. Eiffel was similarly unworried, pointing out to a journalist that it was premature to judge the effect of the tower solely on the basis of the drawings, that the Champ de Mars was distant enough from the monuments mentioned in the protest of there to be little risk of the tower overwhelming them and putting the exotic argument for the tower. Don't the laws of natural forces always conform to the secret laws of harmony? Some of the protesters changed their minds when the tower was built. Others remained unconvinced. Gay supportedly ate lunch in the tower's restaurant every day because it was the one place in the Paris where the tower was not visible. By 1918, it had become a symbol of Paris and of France after Apollinaire wrote a nationalist poem in the shape of the tower to express his feelings about the war against Germany. Today it is widely considered to be a remarkable piece of structural art and is often featured in films and literature. Thank you all guys for watching. It has been your boy AJ Scholars here, back once again with